Hello, everybody. This is the Pastime Paradise podcast with Kahai.
Aldrine.
And Aaron.
Yeah. This week we're talking about I don't know. How do we explain this? Pre-YouTube videos or early internet videos? Early
internet.
Yeah.
Early internet.
Because I think we were talking about just like movies and things, and then Aaron brought up like I think the kung fu movie that he made with his friends, and then so that kind of got into this topic of internet videos or early internet videos. We mentioned that before YouTube, like you had to go to sites where you could see videos, and a lot of them were like flash videos, right? Or flash animation, not even flash videos. And so I know a big one for me was Newgrounds or Albino Black Sheep, right? Do you guys have like particular videos you guys remember? Because my story of watching early internet videos is I think kind of different. So
yeah.
Do you want to just go into that?
Yeah, let's just go into it.
Okay. Yeah, because it's weird because I actually did not grow up with internet and internet videos. And I think even in high school, I had slow ass internet, so I couldn't watch internet videos. I think when we talked about watching videos, I mentioned that I had to pull up multiple YouTube videos of movies or shows and like buffer each one to be able to watch the whole series or to watch one episode. You know, I didn't get like fast enough internet honestly until I think I started working with you guys, or like maybe a little bit before that.
What year was that?
I graduated 2011. Yeah, I think maybe 2011. Yeah. So I really did not grow up with these kinds of things, and I only had like a outer knowledge because of some of my friends, you know, like going to their houses and watching some videos and stuff. So yeah.
You're just a little baby.
Yeah.
The highest first internet video was in baby's first internet.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I can remember that, but I don't know. Yeah,
there's a few that comes to mind. I'm trying to think of one like obscure ones that like because a lot of people know like the big popular ones, like the big popular ones that I was into, of course, like E-Bombs. Check that out. Well, E-Bombs had a lot of flash games.
Yeah, E-Bombs World.
E-Bombs World, that's the E-Bombs World. And then I would go to like the Strong Bad, like what is it, Homestar Runner?
Yeah, Homestar Runner.
So Homestar Runner, or is it .net? I forget. Homestar Runner was filled with a bunch of like flash movies of Homestar, like the character and his friends. And the one that I particularly watched a lot of was the Strong Bad Emails.
Yeah.
And the Strong Bad Emails, like that particular series, like got me hooked onto like to internet memes and things like that. So for those of you folks who remember that and remember Fahuga Wagas or whatever, how do you say that? Fahuga Wagas. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. But that's that, or like Trogdor, you know, the Burninator. I think Aaron has a Trogdor shirt. So it's that I watched a lot. But I'm trying to think of like really like obscure ones. There's one, I'm trying to remember what the website was, but it had a lot of videos, like flash videos of muffins. And I think it was like Death by Muffins or something, deathbymuffins.com.net or something like that. But like I loved that website. It was like a dozen muffins, and each one of the muffins that you click on had like a different video or some kind of flash game like that's attached with it. And those songs from those videos were so catchy that I remember singing them and stuff, and like nobody would know what the hell I'm talking about saying about muffins, you know. But it's also and just like muffin skits, and it's just like a little flash website, but I think it's called Death by Muffins. But I was trying to look it up, and nothing's showing up, so I can't even find that website anymore. But I remember those songs, and it was pretty catchy. Maybe I'll look on YouTube to see if anybody like re-uploaded any of those like flash videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, that for now, I mean, I can add on, but I don't want to like here's like a list of 10, 20 things, 20 websites, because I could, you know.
You might as well. This is a full podcast episode, so
I guess. But then like if I'm naming 10 and then you guys name 10 and then another name, that's like 30 things. So
I'll leave the list in the show notes.
Yeah, I'll leave some room for little things, but for now, like E-Bombs World, Homestar Runner, and Death by Muffins, like those are like 3 websites that I would go and watch like internet memes and videos and stuff.
Yeah.
How about you, Aaron?
Yeah, I guess the reason why this came up was like the whole reason why I know how to edit video was because of the early pre-YouTube internet and how that kind of inspired me to go into doing video based creative things. So so yeah, like I think my entire life I've been kind of obsessed with documenting things, you know? When I was a little kid, I think my dad had a video camera, but I wasn't able to play with it. It was one of those like shoulder mounted, I think the first one that he had had that like the huge tape that would go into it. And then I think he had like the high 8 cassettes that would go into it. But I don't think I ever really played with that until maybe like middle school but like when I was a little kid, I would even have a micro cassette recorder. So like that was kind of like my version of the Talkboy. But I had a micro cassette recorder and I would bring that on trips and I would dictate, like my family would just be going to Oahu. I would go to Oahu with my parents and I would dictate like the places that we were going. And so I think it was kind of in my DNA. And then once like smaller camcorders started coming out, I was really into like picking those up and filming pretty much everything. So by college, a lot of this video stuff on the internet was kind of popping up. I guess for the younger listeners, video wasn't always on the internet. The internet was text-based for a long time before video even popped up. In the early days of video on the internet, it was either flash animation, so you kind of have to look up what that is if you don't know what that is. But it was a way to like create video content that was compressed enough that you could actually watch it on like slow internet connections or like limited internet connections. And so most of the flash animation projects were like really short things that people were hobbling together in their rooms or whatever. And it was pretty janky at the beginning, you know. A lot of people were rough. Like playing around with like stick figures, like animating stick figures, and like just the hand would move and the smile would change a little bit, and then they would animate that to songs or something, you know. So it was like a lot of stupid stuff like that. But like I do remember it must have been around 2001, 2002. It was Ninjai the Little Ninja. Do you guys remember that? It was like almost like Avatar quality animation, but it was somebody who just did this as a passion project in Flash. They animated it in Flash. And I remember watching that and being like, this is obviously, it's not a studio that's making this. This is somebody that's just making it out of passion. And with Flash animation, they actually have all the tools in order to do like a pretty impressive visual like representation, like almost like a cartoon, but it was all in Flash. And so from that point, that's when I started like looking into like, how do you do animation? How do you do video editing? How would you convert it to a format that would be able to be streamed on the internet? And like the term streaming wasn't even a thing yet, right? And then I guess after that, people started making websites and uploading like compressed videos that you would have to download from their website and then play it on like a player. So it would be like you'd have to download a QuickTime player or a real player.
A real player,
or Winamp. Yeah, Winamp was the one that I used a lot. And so it was like a interesting time during the internet because you couldn't play things natively on websites. You had to like download it. You had to download a separate player to your computer and then take that file that you downloaded from somebody else's website and play it through your own player, like locally on your computer. And so some of the videos that really stand out to me in that format, where it was like you would go to their website and see if they uploaded anything new. Lonely Island, that was like one of the early, you know, like before YouTube, before they were on SNL, and before they had like a hit, you know, like album, they put out an album. They were just like a sketch comedy trio that they had their own website, and you would just like download things from their website and then play it on your own player. And they were hilarious. Like you could see the genius already in their early stuff. And I think you can find it on YouTube, like some of their really early stuff.
I think even now, right? Like people might know Andy Samberg, but they might not know Lonely Island, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Andy Samberg.
Yeah.
And SNL digital shorts were based off of the things
Lonely
that they were
Island
putting out
sketches.
on their website before. Yeah. So like so when the Lonely Island guys got hired by SNL, they pitched this idea whereas like, oh yeah, let's do digital shorts in the same style that we were doing like for our own website pre-YouTube. These little skits that were like no budget skits that we just put up on the internet. And so that's where the like the origin of SNL digital shorts came from, was from them. So like I think if you search it on YouTube, you might be able to find it. One of my favorite one of their skits, their really early skits, it was like a fake commercial for a tooth whitening thing called White Power. Yeah. It was like a tooth whitening kit. Like bleaching your teeth.
Yeah.
And so like in the skit they're promoting it and then they slowly become addicted to it. They get addicted to like whitening their teeth, and so they start like doing like more and more crazy things just so that they can afford to get more tooth whitening. And so like there's actually a scene from that White Power skit where they're so strung out on the White Power whitening that they're like beating up grandmas in the street. And so like one of them is dressed up as like an old lady with a wig and stuff like that, and then I think it might have been Andy Samberg or one of them was like beating her up. And this is like, I think they were in LA by this point, but it was like next to a freeway. One of them is like on the side of the freeway filming, so it's kind of like zoomed in, and then they're like, one of them is beating up the other one that's dressed up as a grandma. And like, no joke, I think it was Kiefer Sutherland that stopped.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All the people that were driving on that freeway that day, Kiefer Sutherland stopped and like he went over to him and like pulled him off of the guy that was dressed up as a grandma. And so like Kiefer Sutherland to the rescue. Yeah. And then they had to like, oh no, this is for a skit. Don't beat me up.
They had like that kind of behind the scenes about that video.
Yeah.
And I think they put like Kiefer Sutherland is like as good you know,
of a guy
like,
as you would
as
think.
he is. Yeah.
I mean, and they had like tons of skits by the time that they stopped doing it for their own website, or they had kind of a lot of skits because they were trying to break into Hollywood. They made a bunch of friends that are like famous actors today because they were all trying to break into Hollywood at the same time. But I guess even more inspirational for me was basically the same thing. It was a group of like three or four guys, like the cast kind of like rotated, but it was three main guys. They were like Filipino and Asian and Mexican. They were called 705. They went by 705, so like 7OH5, like spelled out. 705. And they were basically the same thing, but they were like the Asian, like Mexican version of
The Lonely Island. I don't remember seeing that.
Oh my gosh, like I was obsessed.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
I was obsessed with these guys because the guy Roman Cortez, he was the main animator for it. And I guess he was studying to do film and animation and special effects. And the things that he was doing at the time, like nobody on the internet was doing. And to this day, there are some things that they did in some of their skits that I don't know exactly how they did it. Like it had to have been like green screen, like, but it was like high quality stuff for backyard filming. So like to this day, I still don't know. They have the acting wasn't great, but it was hilarious. They had a skit called Skid Marks where they it was like all three of them decided just to buy like drifting tricycles. Because like they totally remind me of like our friends Bugoy and Arvin.
Yeah.
where they would get
just,
into
like,
whatever,
customize.
whatever, customize whatever it is that they like, they're into at the time, but they would make videos about it. And this was pre-YouTube that they were doing it and putting it out on their own website, and you had to download the video and watch it. But if you go on YouTube now, you can search 705 and you'll find like all of their videos. And I'm pretty sure he was just using Adobe After Effects, but like I didn't learn how to do a lot of the stuff that he was doing then until like way later, and I still don't know how he did like some of that stuff. It's just pretty amazing, like high quality. I think he was starting to right around the time that they stopped doing their website, he started getting hired to do a lot of commercials. And I think he still works in the film industry, or like, television film industry today. But I guess the weird connection that he has with ukulele is that post 705, he did a skit based in Hawaii. I think it's called Shave Ice is Nice. Shave Ice is Nice. So yeah, I just found it. It's like, it features like the star of the skit is Aiden James.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a little baby Aiden James.
Oh, wow.
In one of his first like feature whatever.
What is that kid doing now?
He goes by Lepret. I think he's still doing music, but he does kind of like more like guitar stuff and like electronic type of music.
Wasn't he like doing like also kind of producing more music?
Yeah.
Like producing for other people, so
Working in the music industry. He lives on the mainland now, so I think he's still doing it. But Aiden James was like that viral little kid that played ukulele. He was like an early YouTube viral ukulele kid, and then he grew up and he became like a ukulele star for a while. And then he branched out and did more music. So I think he's still doing music. But yeah, so a little baby Aiden James is featured in one of Roman's. Because like once they stopped doing 705, I still kind of kept up with some of the members of that troupe. And the other one is Tracy Tubera. He became like an illustrator. Because I think for a lot of their skits, they would have like fake movie posters, and he would do a lot of the graphic design for those posters. And then he's done like a bunch of different things. But if you look up Tracy Tubera, he does really cool, those vinyl toys, the custom vinyl toys that they make for like Comic-Con and stuff.
Okay.
He's been doing a lot of that mashups, like crossover kind of stuff. He's done comic book covers. His style is very like the heavy lines type of comic style. But yeah, those guys are still an inspiration to me, especially in those early days, pre-YouTube days. Like they were the whole reason why like I wanted to get better at editing video and doing that stuff. And that's part of the reason why the early Ukulele Underground videos looked better than everybody else, was because I was comparing myself to them and I was nowhere close. But yeah,
I remember you showing me this, Aaron, the video skid marks, and I pulled it up. And you know what the description says? It says, first place winner of the Rockstar Games Upload 3 contest for $300. Whoa.
Yeah.
So much. But the reason why I pulled it up and looked at the description, it had something, and I could read a little bit of it, but I wanted to make sure. It said, we filmed this movie non-HD on a Sony PC9 mini DV camera. And like I remember you saying like, oh, I didn't really record anything until I got like did you say camcorder or something? And I wanted to be like, come on, Aaron, say the brand, say the name, we all know it, we all use the same one.
Sony Handycam.
Yeah.
Handycam.
Yeah.
We ran with a Handycam for a long time. Then I think we switched over to like a Canon whatever, like camcorder too, but it was all mini DV tapes that we were filming on.
Yeah.
So I looked it up. It's the muffin thing is still alive.
Oh yeah?
It's Muffin Films. I thought it was Death by Muffins because they have a skit called Death by Muffins.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I was remembering. So Muffin Films is by Amy Winfrey. So it's still around, and that stuff was like from when I was in college. But other stuff that I kind of wanted to talk about was I know Kahai mentioned that he would go and use YouTube and watch like Dragon Ball or anime episodes and stuff. I had the same thing, and I was using Daily Motion.
Okay.
Back in the day. And so Dailymotion could upload longer than, because YouTube had like this weird 5-minute or 10-minute, like restriction back in the day. I know that's kind of tough for the kids out there to be like, what, 5 minutes? Like it was, like a limit of how much you could or how long you could upload to YouTube. But Dailymotion didn't have that back in the day, and I could watch full episodes on Dailymotion. And that kind of leads into, did you used to upload stuff to Dailymotion back in the day, Aaron? Or was it another streaming? Because we didn't upload to YouTube. We were uploading somewhere else, and then we used YouTube.
Oh, yeah,
what was the place that you
Vidler.
used before? Vidler. That's what it was.
That was what, So like early on, there were only a few like video streaming services on the internet, and then some of them were paid, right? You would have to pay in order to unlock the ability to upload certain amounts of video. But YouTube was the first to be like really like, oh yeah, everything is free.
So kind of diving deeper into some of the websites that I talked about, and I'll talk about it a little bit more. But E-bombs, I remember I used to play a lot of their Flash games. I learned about it from E-bombs World, but there was a game called Gunbound. I don't know if did you guys play Gunbound? Kai, did you play Gunbound?
I'm gonna look it up. I don't know.
So I used to play that game a lot, and I kind of have a funny story about that. So my friend, I don't know if I should say this in this one or the extra, but since I brought it up, I might as well just say in this because it's a little bit, on that kind of story. So my friend Tyler, Bandito Tyler, we were in college, and this must be like 2003, 2004. We were in college, and he used to play that game a lot, Gunbound, and it was something that you download and install to your computer. So he was dating this girl at the time, and he mistakenly left his laptop open. Okay, and he went to go meet up with his girlfriend at the time. He left his laptop open, not on sleep or anything, so you didn't have to put a password to get into his computer. So we were like weird college kids, so we went and snuck into his room and on his computer, we changed all of the icons on the desktop. And like how you can create icons and you can you can use them as like a quick link to go to like a website online.
Yeah, back then, right? You could,
back then. So Gunbound was like right on his desktop, and we changed that and we took it out and we put it somewhere on a different folder. And we recreated the same icon on the desktop, but we redirected it to a not so like good website, let's just say, So, and it was just supposed to be a joke. We're gonna be like, Tyler's gonna come back and he's gonna click it. He's like, you guys, like we all thought it was just gonna be a funny joke. But he went to go hang out with his girlfriend, comes back with his girlfriend. All right, we didn't know, but his girlfriend also plays Gunbound. So she goes onto his computer. It's like, oh, you have Gunbound. Like, I want to play Gunbound. He's like, oh yeah, go ahead. I'm like, we're like, no, don't play Gunbound.
Yeah.
We were responsible for that relationship not going well.
Really?
I mean, it was the first time that we pranked him with his computer. So I remember we took a screenshot of his desktop, and then we took all the icons out and we hid it, and then replaced the desktop with a screenshot of desktop. And he would click on the icons and like, what's going on with my computer? It made him crazy, thinking that like his computer was broken, because he's like, I don't know, but I have to go to programs and I have to run it like, from other folders, from like the program folder. I can't just click it on my, on my desktop. But yeah, Bandito Tyler, sorry, we apologize. Yeah, it was a not so friendly website. Let's just say that.
We didn't like that girl anyway. Good. You guys.
Yeah, there's a couple of sites, right? Like, I think the safer work, like, kind of version of that is like to rickroll somebody.
Yeah.
But there was not safer work versions, and it's like, I think if you're back on the internet back in the day, it's like you kind of knew which ones they probably were.
That's kind of where I was going with that. Like,
Yeah.
Back in the day, there were these like just completely gross internet because it was like not,
Not policed.
not policed or filtered at all back in the day.
Yeah.
So like just the most like evilest, raunchiest things that you could think of that probably existed in like an old internet. All right, so we I'm not gonna say which one it is. I'm not even gonna hint as to which one it is, but it was one of those kind of videos. And we thought we were so funny because we just meant for Tyler to see.
Yeah.
We meant for him to come home from his date. It's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go play Gunbound. Did not know that his girlfriend also played Gunbound. Came back to the dorm and opened it up. And then she's like, Tyler, what is this? And I'm like, oh no, let's get out. And so we ran. Like, we didn't... Oh,
It's
but
like
yeah,
the slow motion. No.
it's not even that. I know what I said earlier. We're like, no, don't play Gunbound.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we're like, oh my God, let's get out of here. Like we ran out of there. And Tyler knew as soon as like we ran. We're like, oh,
no.
those freaking guys. Because that wasn't the first time we pranked him with that,
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tyler, you were a trooper back in the day because we used to prank him a lot. And the whole Bandito Tyler was like started off as a prank. We were playing tennis one time, and my friend Bradford, he's like an art student over at UH at the time. We're just like wearing like PE clothes like to go play tennis with, and one of Bradford's like kind of raggy clothes was like this white shirt that he bought from Walmart. And he made a stencil of the original Bandito Tyler image. And he spray painted it onto that shirt. And that's what he wore to tennis. And we're like, what the hell is that thing? Is that Tyler with a sombrero? And it's like, yeah, it's Bandito Tyler. I was like, oh, God damn it. That is amazing. And then the stickers came out, so we would prank him. So, Bradford wanted to wear that t-shirt just to see Tyler's face, like looking at his face.
Yeah.
while he played tennis. We were just pranking him like that. And I remember we printed out stickers, of Bandito Tyler. We would stick them all around UH and like in the place that he would go to like on his commute to classes. And he would be like, God damn it, because it says Bandito Tyler on it and it looks kind of like him,
Yeah.
So it got so bad that like we're good friends with this international superstar Jake Shimabukuro, and we gave Jake a bunch of stickers, and he was gonna be on Conan O'Brien like I think that week or 2 weeks from that point. And we're like, hey, I know you're going to Conan, can you do us a huge favor and give Conan one of these stickers? So Jake, I guess, gave him like a nice little like care package like from Hawaii when he visited.
Yeah.
And he called me, and I swear to God, he calls me up. He's like, hey, I stuck one of those Bandito Tylers in that care package that we gave to Conan O'Brien. I'm like, mission accomplished. So at some point in time, Conan O'Brien had a Bandito Tyler sticker or owned one. Even if he just grabbed it, looked at it, and then threw it away, at some point in time, he held that sticker, or he at least looked at it.
Yeah, it was in his possession.
Yeah. Early internet, there was lots of like pranking going on and lots of inappropriate, like not safe for work videos. And we definitely used it for evil.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me of kind of a weird experience I had was I got a DVD of Red versus Blue.
Oh, nice.
Because I thought it was like Halo. I thought it was like people actually playing Halo.
Yeah. Oh,
and then
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah. So people who don't know what Red versus Blue is, it's kind of like an animated series where they use the video game Halo to make all the videos. Basically, like they use the characters in a multiplayer Halo match and they bob their heads to make it look like they're talking or doing things or saying stuff. I got that from GameStop too, because I remember like GameStop had like a video section where I think it was just like a used video, and I saw it and I thought it was like, oh, awesome, it's like MLG, the pro level Halo gameplay. I'm gonna get this and watch it. And then you click on it and it's just like, the Halo
Skits.
Yeah, or it's like Halo Master Chief. He's just like talking and it's like, why do you think we're here? And it's stupid stuff like that. that, and it's like, okay.
Dude, that's so crazy to think that like you weren't part of that generation, because I would think that you're like you would be super into things like Red versus Blue back in the day, or at least like watched it while it was happening, because this is made by Rooster Teeth, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, yeah. So I know you're like a big Rooster Teeth fan. So it's kind of crazy to me to think that you weren't part of that when it was happening.
No, it's like I got the DVD, then it's like when I got faster internet, it's like, oh, this is cool, I'm gonna check this out, and then realizing like, oh, these are the fucking DVDs that I have already. Like, what? It's like, oh, okay. And then watching that whole series, or watching the people who made it, right? And I think the same thing. They said like back in the day, you know, there wasn't YouTube, there wasn't other video hosting sites, so they had to host it on their own site. And I know the founder said like he had a little computer at his workplace where it was hosting the video. I think maybe like 1 or 2 videos of Red versus Blue, and he said like the DVD got spread around Microsoft, and people were going to their site to download the next video, and he said like the LED indicator like for disk usage was just like solid red on his computer, on that computer. And then his boss at that company came and was like, oh, we're getting like super high traffic from this office specifically, like what's going on? So he just like quietly, he said he like reached down and then hit the power button, and he's like, I have no idea what's going on, you know. But he's just like, oh fuck. And then I think he said like, yeah, for sure that bill would have been like thousands of dollars if they were trying to host it themselves, but they're just like, what, like a couple people are gonna watch this. And then when it went to Microsoft, they're like, oh shit, like there's a ton of people trying to watch this all at once. So yeah, just like crazy stuff like that. But bringing it back to what you were saying about pranking Tyler, I remember those guys, like they would put up behind the scenes videos of their office, and very often they would pull up some of those videos that or sites that weren't safe for work, you know, on their coworkers' computers, and then turn it to sleep so it didn't look like anything was happening. But once their coworkers came back from lunch and then like move the mouse, it's like right in their face, and they'd be like, what the fuck?
That's awesome.
But then yeah, it's like also doing it where you put up multiple windows, and so they close one window, and then behind that window is another window of it still playing, and they'd be like, no.
Man.
I forgot about doing stuff like that with like computers. I feel like kids are on their phones now, and it's like, how do you prank somebody on a phone? But back then, yeah, that wasn't a uncommon experience to do stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
I guess you could like take a screenshot of somebody's phone and then like hide all their icons and still do that and make them think that their phone's broken. They're trying to like click on it, you know, or tap on it.
Yeah, you gotta really get in there if somebody doesn't have like a passcode or like a fingerprint unlock or something, right?
Yeah.
But then, yeah, back then, it's like, I don't think people normally closed their computer or like locked their computer or did anything. And I remember doing some of those like pranks in like, you know, school computer labs, just the harmless ones where it's like you move all the desktop icons, or you know, make it seem like it's not working or something like that.
Yeah, so. Harmless pranks, everybody. Don't like spike somebody's drink with Clear Eyes, because apparently Clear Eyes is very toxic. No one's ever done that. So I'm not saying I did that, but don't do that because it's very toxic, and somebody could go to the ER for that.
Just random tidbit that I know.
Yeah, just random tip that I heard from somewhere, from someone that you shouldn't do. That Tyler definitely did not experience.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember for a while, like pre-YouTube, there was like a email kind of thing that was circulating, and it was like one of those jump scare type of things?
Oh yeah.
So it was like, I remember I must have been in high school still, and that wasn't really a thing until it was. It was like you download this thing, and then it was like, see how many things that you can spot, like see if you can spot the weird thing in this picture. And turn up your volume. Make sure you turn up your volume. And then all of a sudden it's just like a scream and then like a scary face.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time that it happened, like I was so scared that all of the blood like drained from my face. And we had like a separate computer room in our house. and the door was closed to the computer room, and my mom heard me like yell. and so like I came up from the computer room, and she said like there's like no color in my face. and she was like, what happened? She was like so concerned. And I didn't even know how to communicate like what just happened to me. I was like at a loss for words, like what I couldn't even say anything, and it took a while for her to figure out like what exactly happened to me.
Yeah, I remember in I don't know if it was an extended podcast or the main podcast where you mentioned, Aldrin, that it's like for Back to the Future, it's like people in the Philippines like open their window to let other people outside watch Back to the Future. And what Aaron just said about there being like a computer room or being like one computer for the house, right? Mm-hmm. We had a computer in our house in the living room, and what I was saying with like I would pull up multiple videos of, I remember specifically Hunter x Hunter, like different parts of Hunter x Hunter to watch just one episode and letting the whole YouTube video buffer before I could watch it. Mm-hmm. But that took me all night. So I pulled up like our kitchen table chairs and I slept on our kitchen table chairs just to watch that. And I remember my mom being like, what are you doing, Kahai? And I was like, I gotta watch this next episode, but I gotta lay down, but I gotta watch this. And she's like, okay, whatever. Just like, do whatever the fuck you want, right? But it's like now kids just have a cell phone, or like it's not unusual to have multiple computers in a house. But back then, I remember it being like, and I gotta make sure I'm doing it when my parents aren't gonna be around. They're gonna have to use a computer, because if they close out this tab, I'm gonna lose all 4 parts of Hunter x Hunter, and I can't watch this episode.
You have to rebuff it all over again.
Yeah, it's such a pain. Like at one point, and I reached the limit. I don't know if it was the limit of the RAM on my computer, where like I pulled up so many tabs that the previous tabs like got wiped. So I knew the limit of like, okay, I can pull up 8 tabs and buffer 7 videos while I watch the last one, and then I keep doing that. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine doing that now just to watch Hunter x Hunter, probably in 144p. It wasn't even in like 360 or 720, right? It's like the tiniest, most grainiest kind of video, but it's like, I gotta see this. This is the coolest thing ever.
So you, I'm guessing if you had slow internet, that you didn't really participate in the whole like Napster, LimeWire era.
I don't.
Kahai?
My dad kind of did with Napster. He was really into that.
Really?
But I didn't do LimeWire. Yeah, and I didn't do Napster. And our internet was so slow that I remember my friends came over in middle school, and I was so excited because I was like, you guys are going to come over and we're going to play RuneScape. Like, I started playing RuneScape and it's going to be awesome. And I think I barely played. Like, all my friends were playing a lot, but I barely got into it, but I was so excited. And then when they actually came and we tried to log on, it was taking like 10 minutes just to log into my account. And so my friends all lost interest, and they're like, it's okay, we don't need to play this. And I was like, no guys, trust me, it's gonna work, and they're like, if it's this slow, what the hell are you gonna do? You're not gonna do anything in the game. So it's like, even that, you know, like if people look at RuneScape now, you can run RuneScape probably in your browser, right? But back then I was like, no guys, trust me, I can do it.
Yeah, that's another thing too, Jack. Just browser games, you know, or like games just that exist on the browser, and you don't have to install anything on your computer. But if we're talking about like early internet, can we include like early YouTube like in there as well? Because we talked about like how YouTube is like 5 minutes at a time and stuff, and I'm one of those that was pretty early into the YouTube scene. Not like one of the first people on YouTube, but I was pretty early. And in getting into the partner program back in the day, the YouTube partner program was very difficult. And I remember the day that I got into the YouTube partner program, and wasn't as cool as I thought it was gonna be. I remember back in the day, like when everybody was getting it, like, oh, you can do this, you can like customize your homepage for like, you know, for YouTube, or your channel page and stuff. You can make it super fancy, but I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. So While others had like these like badass like YouTube pages, I had like, here's a header and I can organize my videos like in this, and I guess, you know, I have all these whatever perks, but I didn't know how to like actually utilize and make it look as nice as everybody did. But I remember like the singer-songwriter like community back in the day, like not just ukulele but like guitar and piano and whatnot.
Yeah.
And might I say like the Asian ukulele
Yeah.
or the Asian
I feel
singer-songwriter
like
community.
we can do a full episode on this.
And we definitely will. We definitely will.
We
I
can
just kind of
break
want
this out into a full episode because it's funny because early on you were part of that group,
Yeah.
and I guess we're all sort of like
Yeah.
part of that. The people singing songs and playing music that are brown on YouTube. brown people unite.
the brown people revolution.
Yeah.
We'll probably get into
Brown
it
kids.
in a full episode, but you guys want to mention some of the people you're thinking of?
Oh yeah, like of course you got guys like Gabe Bondok, you got guys like AJ Raphael, like Melissa Polinar, and
Passion.
you know, Passion, and all those. So I think Passion even pre YouTube was a thing. And I remember like watching that YouTube video that he did, and trying to learn how to play what is it, So Sick on guitar, because he played like a really cool like acoustic R&B version of So Sick by Neo. And I remember watching that video over and over and over, trying to like, okay, what chord is that? Like, it sounds super fancy, because back in the day I didn't know any like complicated chord extensions, while like these brown dudes on YouTube was just jazzing it up, you know, like guys like Gabe Bondok would be playing like, if a spider would make a web, that's what his hands look like. Like on the guitar, because I just couldn't figure out what chords, you know, he was playing. And a lot of this kind of style back in the day was that like acoustic R&B. And I remember I was super into it because there's an artist named Paulo Santos from the Philippines. He was a guy who went to the service and played guitar there, came back from service, and he would play guitar for like radio stations and whatnot, but just by himself, like playing his guitar and then singing songs, and people would be like calling in and requesting stuff. And then he made an entire album based on those sessions. And I remember listening to that, you know, to that album, and that kind of inspired me to do the same thing. So I got hired by like KZoo 1210 AM over on Oahu, and I would do the same thing. I would go on the radio show. It was just me, my guitar, my ukulele, and my friends would call in and request stuff, and I would just play it like acoustically. And it would, since it's AM, it would actually reach Kauai. So we had guys like Tito Boy, who's like who's tuning in. So shout out to Tito Boy, listens to this podcast.
Yeah.
So shout out to Tito Boy, you know, and he would call in to the 1210 AM KZoo.
Request stuff of you.
Yeah, request stuff. Yeah. So I was doing that, but then watching the guys on YouTube, I'm like, man, this is like next level stuff, you know? And they were all like friends with each other. And I ended up like, you know, like chatting like online with a bunch of those guys, but you know, like they seemed like a really like tight clique, because they kind of lived in all like the same area. A bunch of them lived in California, like mostly like NorCal and whatnot. So when we finally went on tour for Ukulele Underground, I got to meet like a bunch of those people. And when we did NAM, like, you know, I ran into like Gabe Bondok, and he knew who I was, and I knew who he was, and he played my ukulele, and he kind of blessed it actually. So one of the ukuleles that he used and traveled around the world with, like Gabe Bondok got to play it on stage before I did. So it's pretty cool, like, to see like early internet YouTube celebs, because right now there's like YouTube celebrities, like they call them, or before they were like influencers, they were like YouTube celebrities, and those guys to me were like the original YouTube celebrities, because although I got views and attention on YouTube, it wasn't anything like those guys. Like an AJ Raphael, you know, would get like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views, and Gabe Bondok would get like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views. Well, I'd get pretty good amount of views. It wasn't anything like that, you know? And it was just really, really crazy, like how the singer-songwriter YouTube community back in the day was like really had like a vice grip on everybody. Like you would hear Passion's Lemonade everywhere, and there'd be like a million covers of it on YouTube. And then my friend Daniel Cummings was also like a pre-YouTube, you know, with MySpace, like his popularity, and people would be downloading it, and people would have like a million different, you know, covers, or there'll be a million different covers of like Perfect Together, or You Don't Miss Your Water. But I do miss pre-internet in the fact that it was a lot of those artists that didn't have a production behind them and could still kind of make it and still get attention. But now like everything is so high production and high quality that you kind of have to at least match that quality in order to get people's attention. But back then, it was just like a MacBook, the video camera from the MacBook. You would just play to your computer, sing, and then you would get tons of attention. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now you need like an HD camera, you need like a green screen. Some people would use drones and stuff. It's like super high production, whereas back in the day it was just that simple camera.
Yeah, or if you're like putting something out, right? Back in the day, the YouTube musicians, it's like they were all doing it themselves from like webcams and stuff. But now, I guess you could still do that. But I think if you're thinking of putting out music on YouTube, almost like your original or something, I think a lot of people now are like, I'm gonna get a production company to help me make my song and do everything and polish it
my
up.
YouTube video.
Yeah, make my premiere and make this, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of them also wrote songs where it's kind of like more about mundane things, right? Like not necessarily like, hey, this isn't my big breakout love song or anything. Like another person I kind of think is in that similar realm is Jason Mraz, right? Like he put out stuff on MySpace, and I remember a lot of his music was being like highly downloaded. Right. I think my sister like downloaded I'm Yours like before it officially came out too and stuff.
That was just like on Kazaa, or like a version of it was on Kazaa or LimeWire or Napster, one of those places. And I don't think he meant it to go out. It was like a demo of that song, and it just like spread like wildfire, and people knew. And I think he made a bunch of references to it like in some of his live shows where like people seem to know like all the lyrics of this one even though this song never came out yet. I have no idea why.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That was like a throwaway song, right?
Yeah.
It was like it didn't make his album, so he just put it on MySpace.
Yeah, it's kind of it doesn't feel like that anymore, right? I don't think people are doing that, and then they're like, oh, it's a cool little like throwaway song, or it's like very intimate, and then go. It's kind of cool. They became kind of huge hits.
Yeah.
One of the unintended things I kind of remember with a bunch of Asian musicians on YouTube is, wouldn't people all the time be like, for Gabe Bonduck or AJ Raphael, they're like, hey, I love your song Lemonade, can you play that? And then it's like, no, that's another brown musician on YouTube. Because like I also remember like David Choi, right?
Yeah.
He was another one that was a part of that group. And then it's like I think there's another guy, Paul Dante, and he, like people would be like, hey, can you play this song? And it's like, no, I'm the Asian who plays violin, I'm not the Asian who plays guitar, sorry, that's another guy. It's like, I know, I think you're trying to think of him, but yeah, that's not me.
But you play though, you would know.
Yeah, Chris Sandanya was another one.
Oh yeah.
I did a cover of his his velvet fingertips. Yeah.
A big one was, I don't know if you remember Sam Hart. You remember Sam Hart?
I don't know.
He did the Mario Kart love song.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I remember there was a bunch of covers in that song, and that song was like getting huge. We had like similar friends, like Indie Titan Lady, who's now like an influencer, for like American Ninja Warrior. But Natalie, and then T-Sud 123, which is Dustin. So those guys, knew Sam Hart, and all of a sudden there was a skit on Jimmy Fallon where Jimmy Fallon covered that song.
Oh, yeah.
And then like he just blew up. It was insane. So like one of us like kind of made it into that mainstream stage and got covered or got featured on Jimmy Fallon, which was insane. So that was like, it's a big moment for us brown people. That a white person would feature us.
Yeah. These brown YouTube kids. Yeah, that was like, it was like Wild West back then. It was fun.
It was a lot easier to break out.
Yeah. Ninja Drops,
man. OG YouTube guy.
Yeah. I mean, I guess now it's because too, right? If you do a cover on YouTube, you can get views and stuff, but then your video will get like copyright claimed for the song. So I think people on YouTube just like don't really do covers that much anymore, unless they do go the professional route and like license it and everything. But
yeah, or you have to do it in like a stylistic way where it'll kind of get around some of that. It's all like postmodern jukebox type of stuff.
I guess like even them, right? Like because I think YouTube can auto detect lyrics and everything too.
Yeah, now. Yeah.
So, but something I thought about, right, where is like the rude, right? And I remember you Aldrine told me that like somebody did a cover where it's like from the dad's perspective to the guy.
Yeah.
But it felt like there's a lot of songs like that on YouTube where people were doing it like in a creative way where it's like this is from the perspective of the other person, or like you said, Mario Kart love song, right? Like where it's like, I'm writing a love song from this perspective, or I'm doing this.
Yeah.
It was fun to see that side of creativity instead of like just making it like hyper polished or make it super good. Instead, people are more like, well, I got the Sony Handycam, and you know, we can do this. You know, we can try it. So
you know what's a famous example of that is Miley Cyrus doing Flowers, which is actually from the girl's perspective of Bruno Mars's song When I Was Your Man.
Yeah. Isn't it to the point though where it's like whoever holds the rights for the Bruno Mars's song, they sued Miley Cyrus for that. Yeah. And then it was kind of like, thought we got the rights approved by Bruno Mars, but it turns out like he doesn't have the rights too. So it's like,
it's like Atlantic or something, that Atlantic Records who has it. But yeah, I thought they were gonna play dumb about it, like, oh no, we didn't know, you know, like you tell me if that has any similarities to Bruno Mars' song. But no, like they kind of admitted to it, and they said that they thought they had the rights, but Bruno didn't have it.
Yep. In some ways, I guess it's good where it's like people can make a living off of what they like doing, but in other ways, it's like that early internet days where people weren't making things to necessarily make money, right? They're making things because
you
it's
couldn't
just
make
like
money on YouTube before.
Or it's like all the things we mentioned too, right? Like Flash games and Flash animations. It's like people are pouring their like heart and soul into like a stupid stick person animation. But it's like, oh man, just seeing that dedication and creativity, it's like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I guess this podcast is in that same spirit.
We're trying.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. But thank you for everybody who has subscribed to our Patreon. so maybe not in that same spirit.
I don't know. Even our Patreon is a little bit of that early internet jankiness too, right?
Yeah,
so it's
definitely.
like,
hell yeah, man. I mean, it's it's not like we're charging people an arm and a leg for the extras. It's like, what was that, $5 a month or something?
Yeah.
We're barely covering the Patreon fees.
So it's not that much, right, guys? Like $5. And what was that website again?
Patreon.com/PPPod. Yeah, please.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there.
Yeah, we would love to have you join the Strandy tier. That's $5. But then if you just come, guys, come check out the Patreon, because the public versions of these episodes usually have links to everything we mentioned. So if you're like, I don't know any of the fucking videos or people that they mentioned in this podcast, is like, go check it out, and then you can click on them and find some cool people, some cool not that one that LG mentioned, not the Nazi
I didn't even mention it. I didn't even mention what it was. I'll tell you though, like after the show.
I'm pretty sure I already know. I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about. So we're not
it rhymes with no, I'm not even gonna do that. I'm not even gonna do that, but my people look it up. Don't. Anything from old internet, just don't look at it.
Or we'll pull a safer work right now. I'll label the link as like, don't click on this, and then when they do, they'll get a nice Rickroll, right? Well, that's nice. That's safe.
No, don't click on it, but if you do, turn up your speakers.
Yeah.
yeah.
And zoom into the pixel. You know, the Rickroll version that we should use, kind of going back to the old internet, it's in a similar vein. I gotta ask Kyle for the Never Gonna Give You Up cover he did. So I'm gonna try and link to that.
I think he should play it, and one of us should like recreate that video, like with Kyle doing the dance and everything, like just... Did he?
Yeah.
He recreated that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
He was teaching music at like a school, right, on Oahu, and his kids.
No, like with the video and everything.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Because I know he does covers of that song.
So his kids wanted to learn that song, so they filmed a bunch of that stuff.
That's amazing.
What did he tell like the kids? Like, hey, if you guys do this, I'll dress up as Rick Astley and we'll recreate the song.
Yeah.
And then he said the kids came back and he was like, it might have been like, oh, if you guys get good grades, I'll do this. And then they came back and he's like, damn it, I guess I gotta do this then. So yeah,
that's cool. I should motivate my kids that way. Like, if you guys get good grades, next, like performance, I'm gonna go wear this. I'm gonna wear 6'7" shirt.
K-pop Demon Hunters all dress up as
K-pop
one
Demon
of
Hunters. Yeah. As Rumi.
Saja boys.
That's a Saja boy. No, I'm gonna be a K-pop Demon Hunter.
You're gonna be one of yeah.
It's like you can do that, but then you can also do like, oh, if you guys do really well, I guess I gotta wear my Suioka shirt. Oh, don't force me to wear that. No.
Shout out to Siokas. Yeah, last meal, baby. Oh, that was an extra pod. If you would like to know what my last meal on earth would be.
You already said it.
No, but it is so no. People think they know. People think they know based on what I just said, but there's a surprise twist to it.
Yeah, there's a very special order that you have to make, right?
Yeah. Yes. It's not just enough. It's not what you think it is, but it's also what you think it is. But it's not. There's a twist to it, okay? And in order to learn that, you're gonna have to be a strandee. You're gonna have to fly or take a boat to the pastime paradise and just get lost in there and then be stranded along with the rest of the strandees.
That's on our extended PPPod. It's a Patreon exclusive podcast that we usually record after these ones, and it's like it's supposed to be like an extra 30 minutes, but sometimes they push it. They get kind of long, so you're kind of getting like a full pod after it.
Yeah, that PP gets pretty long, Kahai.
Yep. Those come out on Wednesdays, so if you're a Strandee member, check out on Wednesday mornings to see the extended PP come out. Rise and shine.
Come out.
Yeah.
Get released.
Yeah.
We're releasing the extended PP.
Yep. Every Wednesday. Yep.
So don't expect it on Thursday. We're tired. It's a once a week thing, and don't be like, oh, I want more of that. Like, of course you do, but
Man, I'm so tired.
It's tiring.
I got the Monday PP, and then I got the extended PP on Wednesdays. I'm all tuckered out, guys.
Yeah. Business hours are over.
Okay.
All right. Take us out, Kai.
So thank you for listening to the Pastime Paradise podcast. We'll see you guys next week with a brand new podcast. Same time, same place. Thanks. Bye.